The Missouri Valley Dining Hall is addressing problems on a couple of fronts, and the rodeo team stampeded its way through the weekend. I'm Marina Diaz, and this is KMVC News. Missouri Valley had an uptick in active COVID-19 cases last week. Valley has 9 active cases on campus. That's up 4 from last week's report. And this week's dashboard report is from information released on September 22nd. The cases represent a little more than half of 1% of the overall population. The COVID-19 dashboard is on moval.edu. The first weeks of the semester has the Missouri Valley College dining hall filled with students, but sometimes empty of staff and at times some food. KMVC's Courtney Cole reports on how the dining hall is dealing with demand.
Chuck Boltman, who is in charge of the dining hall, says how the cafeteria is doing its best to maintain staff and supplies to feed the campus.
Some students have never been here post-COVID-19, so we had the Mongolian grill and every station open at lunch and almost every station open at dinner. But we haven't been able to get there this year because of labor shortages. We're still fully staffed. We rely on a lot of students to work, and most of them can't work over lunch. So that's why lunch, is still a hiccup for us. We can't quite get over the hump yet.
Since labor shortages have become a problem at MVC, Baltimore still is looking for work-study staff to work the lunch shift since they rely not only on their Fresh Ideas staff.
Well, we have some supply chain issues for sure. To give you an example, I just finished my order, and I order twice a week. Tomorrow's truck is like 450 cases, and that's about almost $20,000 worth of food. So pre-COVID, I would, at the end of the order, it tells you what they're out of. Pre-COVID, there might have been 1 or 2 items each truck where they'd be like, would you like to find something else, a substitute? And now, every time I order, I have 15 to 30 exceptions.
Baltimore hopes the nationwide supply shortage is over as soon as COVID comes to an end and for things to get back to normal. Courtney Cole, KMVC News.
Missouri Valley's dining hall supplier, Fresh Ideas, is doing its best to provide meals for all those who purchase the meal plan. Baltimore hopes for things to get back to normal with a full staff and for every station to be open in the dining hall. Missouri Valley has more than 1,400 students for its fall semester. This is a large number of those applying for on-campus housing. KMVC's Adam Balkan reports some Missouri Valley College students received an option to get a tuition reduction if they boarded through Missouri Valley at a hotel.
Due to the large enrollment, Missouri Valley College has taken $1,500 off tuition for students who agrees to room at the local hotel here in town. Marshall Lodge, just 2 miles away from campus, is where students are staying. Students were able to choose their own roommates, but must have transportation to get to and from campus. Although staying in a hotel during fall semester in college may seem a little unusual, Colin Heather, a resident in Marshall Lodge, says it's a better option.
Option where I was gonna stay, and this one I got to pick who my roommate was. I'm like, bro, that's the one.
While the students are technically off campus, the same rules still apply. Jeremiah Bryant, the RA over at Marshall Lodge, say he still have to do his rounds.
What I do is every Wednesday, Friday, or either Saturday and Sunday, I do nights between 9, 10, 11, and 12. What I do is I'll walk around and I'll see what I see and I'll talk and then.
When and if things go wrong over at the hotel, Bryant must report the information to public safety. Adam Balkan, KMVC News.
Missouri Valley College Rodeo kicked off the fall 2021 season by hosting the annual Viking Stampede Rodeo. KMVC's Austin Bolin reports on some of the sights and sounds from last week's rodeo.
The Missouri Valley College Rodeo team hosted the Viking Stampede Rodeo, a 3-day competition held on the Saline County Fairgrounds. More than 350 competitors from 13 different rodeo teams traveled to Marshall, Missouri to participate in the Viking Stampede, including teams from the University of Tennessee and the University of Kentucky. The Viking Stampede Rodeo included events like barrel racing, steer wrestling, and bull riding. The rodeo events were held in the Deems Julian Arena, a permanent rodeo arena on the fairgrounds built earlier this year. Several buildings, including restrooms and handicap seating, were included in the project. The head coach of Missouri Valley College's rodeo team, Ken Mason, says it took a lot of people to make the Deems Julian Arena a good space for rodeo fans and competitors.
I know the fair board was completely pushing behind it. Then you've got so many people on the fair board that did a lot of things to make it happen. What a blessing. And Tim Schulte, I mean, Dawn, everybody was involved. I mean, the campus was really involved in that.
There are other challenges present when hosting a rodeo. Mason says one of the biggest challenges for hosting an event like this has to do with sponsors.
Getting all the sponsors lined up, that's a big deal. But I mean, Saline County's been really good to us. They've been so good to us, and it help us to put stuff together.
The Viking Stampede was Valley's first rodeo competition of the season. The Vikings travel to Alabama for the University of West Alabama Rodeo Showdown on Thursday. Austin Bolin, KMVC News.
The men's program won the Viking Stampede with 2 event winners. The women's team finished 4th. Valley's Cole Franks won in bareback riding, and Trey Watts won the saddle bronc riding event. The Missouri Valley Fall sports schedule is in full swing, and homecoming weekend is a few weeks away. As fans and alumni make their way to campus, Missouri Valley is stressing its updated spectator policy. KMVC Sharon Thompson reports on what the policy means for certain events.
Last academic school year, spectators weren't allowed to attend games, but this year things are a little different. Head athletic trainer Vince Fedorowicz gives insight on how the policy is different.
I think the biggest benefit is that we actually were trying to do something to make sure that everyone on campus was trying to be as safe as possible. Obviously we've got people that come from all walks around the world, all different places. We've got parents that come and visit the campus. We have recruits that are coming here on a regular basis. So we also have to make sure that one of the benefits one of the things that we were hoping as a benefit was to show that we're trying to do something. We're trying to do something to stop the spread.
Missouri Valley College is hoping to slow down the spread of COVID-19 by still enforcing masks and social distancing.
The other thing that we kind of tried to institute as well was social distancing when spectators were coming in. So we did that through a number of different ways by making sure that we had signage up saying that you need to keep 6 feet apart, as well as wearing a face mask. And then we went as far as sectioning off different areas for the different spectators.
The recently updated spectator policy now says that spectators are allowed at games but still required to wear masks indoors. Sharon Thompson, KMVC News.
Masks are recommended for outdoor events like football and soccer, but not required. Updates to the policy are on valleywill.com. The 17th ranked Missouri Valley women's soccer team got off to a 2-0 start in the Heart of Athletic America Conference, but its match against 2-0 Benedictine was on the 22nd. Valley's Natalia Ruiz scored her 4th on the season in the game's 31st minute in a penalty kick to open the scoring, but Benedictine's Emma Stryker tied the game with just 1 second remaining before halftime. The Vikings recaptured the lead on a Morgan Dirks goal in the 53rd minute. Marina Berneda made 5 saves overall, and Missouri Valley improves to 3-0 in conference and 6-1 overall with a date on the 28th against Baker. The Missouri Valley men's soccer team earned its first conference win of the season against Benedictine with a 3-0 victory. Valley's Tom Preston scored 2 of the goals, and Timo Decker added the 3rd. All the goals came in the second half. Dusan Milosevic made 4 saves in getting the shutout. Valley fell from the top spot in the national rankings to number 10 after a pair of losses to open conference play. Valley tries to even its conference mark on the 28th against Baker. The Missouri Valley football team was trying to end a 4-game losing streak to William Penn when it hit the road on the 25th for its game against the Statesmen. The last Valley win against William Penn was an 8-7 victory in 2016. Missouri Valley trailed 21-16 in the 3rd quarter when defensive back Jordan Londo intercepted a William Penn pass and returned it for 45 yards for the score, giving the Vikings a 23-21 lead. Moval extended the lead on a 1-yard Jeremiah Bryant touchdown run early in the 4th quarter. William Penn pulled to within 3 points with more than 9 minutes remaining, but missed the extra point, and the Vikings defense prevented the Statesmen from getting into field goal range for the remainder of the game. Missouri Valley ended its 4-game losing streak to Penn and improves to 3-2 on the season with its 30-27 win. The Missouri Valley women's volleyball team celebrated its senior weekend with a trifecta of games, including 2 games within the Heart of America Athletic Conference. Valley opened the weekend against Mount Mercy on Friday. The Mustangs came into the match with a 3-1 record in the heart. Valley was 1-3, but the Vikings took the first 2 sets behind strong play from Matilda Teixeira and Lauren Nosh on the attack. Teixeira finished with 12 kills to lead the Vikings, and Nosh finished with 9. Moval dropped the third set, but raced to 23-17 lead in the fourth and hung on to win 3 sets to 1. Brooklyn's Evan had 15 digs, and Abby Abert had 10. And Missouri Valley earned its second conference win. The Vikings split their game on Saturday, losing in 5 sets to Clark. Valley had a 2-1 lead before falling late. The Vikings' mark in the conference now sits at 2-4. Valley wrapped up its 3-game weekend defeating Bethany 3-1 to move its record to 8-13 in the season. Teixeira had 17 kills, and JC Perez recorded 28 assists in the 4-set wins. That's the last of the non-conference games for the season for the Vikings. The Missouri Valley College weightlifting team is making gains as the program grows. Lifting sports is now in their 4th season at Valley, and the Vikings have a new head coach to guide the next set of heavy lifting. First-year head coach John Anderson says he is excited to start the season off and has high hopes for his athletes.
My aspirations for the weightlifting team are to qualify for nationals first of all. Hopefully we get that done early in the year. That way we can focus on peaking for nationals, and then of course just having the best form of ourselves ready to go. That way we can perform on stage there.
This is the first time Anderson has coached weightlifting. However, Anderson says that he has worked with training athletes and he thinks his previous experience will benefit him coaching the weightlifting team.
It's interesting with strength conditioning. Basically you learn how to make people strong. Just because they're powerlifting now instead of going in a team sport, a lot of the same principles apply.
Sophomore Ontarius Reed placed 3rd at nationals last year and says while the transition to having a new head coach has been different, he enjoys the changes Anderson has made to the team, and his goals for this year haven't changed.
To win nationals. I've already placed, so the goal is gold.
Both Anderson and Reed hope that the team grows over the next couple years. Anderson encourages students interested in joining the Missouri Valley College weightlifting team to email him. Missouri Valley College turned the Malcolm Center into a scene from Las Vegas for a night as Casino Night made its return to MVC. Casino Night gives students an opportunity to test their luck for a chance to win a variety of prizes including gift baskets and televisions. Students are given $50,000 in play money to gamble in poker, blackjack, craps, and roulette. Each table is packed with students trying to increase their cash total. Students could then trade their winnings for tickets to enter the prize raffle. Casino Night made its return to Valley after it was canceled last year due to COVID-19. Going to a church is a weekly routine for many people. The Bridge Collegiate Ministry is a church by the Missouri Valley College that some MVC students visit. KMVC Sakina Kamora reports on their activities at the church.
The Bridge Collegiate Ministry is an organization where students can study the Bible, sing gospel music, and worship together every Thursday night at 7:30 at Bethany Baptist Church. The Bridge Collegiate Ministry not only holds large groups on Thursday nights, but also they offer students other opportunities, such as taking a mission trip to serve and building houses for families picked by local pastors in Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Dominican Republic. Scott Westfall, campus missionary for the Collegiate Ministry, says, the Village Collegiate Ministry is a place for anyone.
This is not a place for perfect people. This is not a place where people have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. This is a place where we're studying and growing together.
Trista Arnold is a student leader at the Bridge Collegiate Ministry, and she comes here in order to stay with her faith. Arnold says she likes the diversity in this church.
I really like how diverse our group is. We've got people from everywhere walks of life, different countries, different states, different cultures.
For more information about the Bridge Collegiate Ministry, contact Scott Westfall. Email address is movalcollegiate@gmail.com. Sakina Camero, KMVC News.
Bethany Baptist Church is located across from Volney Ashford Stadium on the corner of Morrow and Conway. And the next KMVC News broadcast is October 5th. Thanks for watching. I'm Marina Diaz, and this is KMVC News.